Welcome back. So we are doing chapter 15 and 16. Okay, before I do that, I'm going to try and do this light a different way. Not a fan of it, but I think it will work. Chapter 15 and 16 are on the shorter side, so they're going to be combined. All right, so chapter 15 is lunch, 12:10 p.m. Hey, we better go, Vicky said. Yeah, but the whole sixth grade will be in the cafeteria, Tim pointed out. How are we going to keep the teachers from finding out? They'll find out, Jessica predicted. People will talk. Yeah, you, for instance, Bastion muttered. Everybody, for instance, Jessica retorted. You think Robert and Corey aren't going to tell Josh? The kids looked at Robert and Corey. The two triplets sat with their brother Josh every day at lunch. We're innocent, Robert said, throwing up his arms. Yeah, Corey said. We didn't do it. We demand to see a lawyer. Listen, guys, Karen said. We're only trying to do this for one day, right? 6 hours. And we're close. It'd be a shame to get caught now. I say we keep it a class secret, Jasmine said. I'm not telling anybody, not even if they torture me. It won't work, Sky said quietly. A story like this is contagious. Bastion flinched at the word contagious. Quarantine. He's right, Karen said. Morgan already knows. You really think he can keep quiet about this? No way. And other kids will find out too. I say we tell the other sixth graders after we swear them to secrecy. We've got to make them swear they won't tell any teachers until school is over. It's worth a try, Jasmine said. 3 o'clock. That's all we're asking. It's less than 3 hours away. Fact, Christopher said. Never work, Tim said. There are about a gazillion teachers' pets in the sixth grade, maybe more. Rachel started scribbling a note. Wait a sec, Missy said. Rachel's got something. Ah, Bastion muttered. The silent pilot speaks again. This is your last day, Rhonda told him. Just pretend for one day that you're a nice person. My dog thinks I'm nice, Bastion thought. He smirked at Rhonda. Missy took the paper from Rachel and read out loud. Maybe the other sixth graders won't tell any teachers if we make them feel included, if they feel like they're part of it. Part of it? How? Jasmine asked. By keeping the secret, Jessica said, nodding at Rachel. Then it's like they're sort of getting away with it too. It's our only hope. Our only hope, Jasmine smiled at her. Sounds like you're with us after all. Not really, Jessica said, folding her arms. In the cafeteria, Rachel sat with Missy and Rhonda. Miranda Lundstrom, a girl from Mrs. Friedman's class, sat with them. Tell me, Miranda begged. Tell me, tell me, tell me. Swear you won't tell anybody till after school, Missy said. I swear, she said. Geez, Missy, what's the big deal? This is really serious, Missy said in a hushed voice. She ripped the wax paper off her sandwich as if she was unwrapping a fabulous secret. This is highly confidential, as in top secret. All right already, Miranda said in an exasperated voice. I swear on a stack of pictures of Rob Nelson. That's better, Missy smiled. Rob Nelson was the cutest boy in the sixth grade. She leaned forward and whispered, Mr. Fab's out today. Yeah, Miranda said. You mean out like absent? Gee, that is exciting. We've got no teacher. Who's your sub? That's the thing, Missy whispered. We don't have one. We're running our own class today. Miranda gave Missy an incredulous look, then glanced over at Rachel. Rachel nodded. What? Miranda hissed. She smacked her forehead. Remember, Missy said, you promised. Who? What I mean, Miranda sputtered. How did you get away with that? It started off as a normal day, Missy began. From the other side of the room, Rachel heard a snort of disbelief, a squeal of outraged delight that quickly got squelched. Looking around, Rachel could see dozens of kids in pairs, threes and fours, heads bent together, all talking intently. She closed her eyes, but even so, she could feel the story spreading through the cafeteria, carried on thousands of whispered words. A fire burning up a dry forest, jumping from table to table, little flames she could feel licking at her insides. For the second time that day, she could feel the pressure of words in her chest, words that wanted to get out but somehow could not come out. She chewed a bite of sandwich and swallowed it down. And that's the end of um, chapter on lunch. So chapter 16 is early dismissal. Wonder what's going to happen here. 12:21, early dismissal. Bastion gulped down lunch. There was a phone right outside the cafeteria. He jammed in the coin and punched in the number to his house. I'm sorry, a voice said. The number you have called, 555, excuse me, 555-7134 has been disconnected. Please, he hung up the phone. Disconnected. All at once it hit him. He was moving. Bastian walked down the hall and out of the front door of the school. Nobody tried to stop him. Nobody said, Where do you think you're going, young man? He couldn't believe how easy it was. He strolled past the flagpole and down the street. The skies had grown heavy with clouds, and the air smelled like rain. He had no idea where he was going, and he didn't care. His feet kept moving, and he just walked. He walked past a young woman washing her car. She waved at him, and he waved back. In the front yard, Bastian saw a little boy playing ball with a bulldog, Barkley. For the 100th time that day, he tried not to think about the puppy, but not thinking had turned out to be a lot harder than he ever imagined. He went past a Catholic school, Our Lady of Sorrows, and stopped to watch kids playing soccer on the playground. They were all wearing uniforms, boys in slacks and white shirts, girls in identical tweed skirts and white blouses. A couple hundred kids, and he didn't know a single one of them. He knew that moving to Hawaii would feel exactly like this. No friends. Hundreds of strange kids. Most of them would stay apart, watching, checking him out from a distance. He would go through his own kind of quarantine. He left Our Lady of Sorrows and walked to the end of Walden Street. The Galleria Mall was down the street to the right, but his feet didn't turn that way. Instead, they turned left and began carrying him toward his house. At first, going home and seeing Barkley seemed like a terrific idea, but he couldn't do it. He sailed past his own street, heading straight toward the house of his best friend, John Leclerc. He got to the house and rang the doorbell. Yeah, John's voice came through a crack in the door. Hello, Bastian said in his deepest voice. This is James Warren, the district truant officer. Are you John Leclerc? Open the door. I have a warrant for your arrest. I have a report that you are playing hooky from school today. Don't you realize that's against the law? Bastian! John laughed and swung open the door. Bastian followed him inside. You're the last person I expected to see. I thought you were having like tons of awesome fun in school, your last day of school. John, you won't believe this, John, Bastian said, following John into the kitchen. Mr. Fab's out today, right? But they didn't send us a sub. They screwed up in the office or something. We got no teacher in the class. Yeah, sure, John said. He opened the refrigerator door and looked inside. And I bet they put free video games in all the classrooms, huh? I don't think so. I'm serious. I'm telling you, we've been alone all day. I swear, John, alone. For a while, it looked like Jessica was going to squeal, but she didn't. It's awesome. Alone? We're running the class ourselves. We've got a new motto, kids rule. John shut the refrigerator. I don't believe this, he said. It's wild, Bastian said. I'm telling you. This day will go down in history. You've missed a lot of fun, but the day's not over yet. Come to school. Karen's playing Little Miss Teacher. That's why we need you. You've got to help us party. I'm coming, John yelled. He ran toward his bedroom. Just let me get my shoes. All right, Bastian called after him. This afternoon, we're going to crank up the music. Wait, John said, carrying his shoes into the kitchen. They won't let me back into school without a note. Don't worry, Bastian said. You want a note? I'll give you a note. I'll give you a great note. Give me some paper. John gave him a sheet of paper and Bastian sat down to write. Good thing I've got perfect penmanship, Bastian said as he carefully formed the letters. He laughed. Yes, sir, you've had a miraculous recovery. Come on, John said. Hurry up. So it looks like John is going to school after all. Wonder what's going to happen next.